When using the recording booths, first come into the room and turn on the light, and when you're ready to begin recording, switch on the On Air button to let outside people know to be quiet during your recording. Turn on the iMac by pressing the power button on the lower left on the reverse side of the iMac. If it's your first time logging into a specific iMac, it may take a few minutes to finish the login process. Make sure the Rodecaster Pro is turned on and all of the sliders are down at the bottom. When working in Audition, we want extra stability with our files, so we don't recommend working directly to an external drive or a USB stick. Instead, we're going to create a desktop folder that we're going to put all of our files and recording into first. So at the top left, you can choose File, New Folder. You can name this folder anything you like. I'm going to choose Podcast Recording. This folder is where we're going to save our Audition file and all of the associated recordings with that. Before using Audition, we recommend that you open an internet browser and try and go to a web page just to make sure the internet connection is working. Okay, everything looks good there. We're ready to go in Audition. So go up to the top left and choose File, New Finder Window, and you'll see Applications here on the left. And you can see that there's Adobe Audition. Drop down that arrow and you can double click. When this opens up, you'll be required to log in to get the Adobe access. It's important here to not use your student credentials. Type in uq.edu.au and hit return. And on this next page is where you can use your student login. Once Adobe's checked that, you'll be free to use Audition. To begin using Audition, we need to create a multitrack session. Go up to File, New, Multitrack Session. And the first thing to do is change the session name. I'm going to title this Podcast Recording, then choose the Browse button. And we're going to go to the desktop and click on the folder that we created earlier. And this is where we'll save our Audition session. Double check that the sample rate is 48,000, the bit depth is 32, and the mix is stereo. And you can click OK. After you've saved your project, the first thing I recommend is double checking the inputs and outputs. Go out to Adobe Audition, Settings, Audio Hardware. And here you want to make sure that the default input is set to the Rodecaster Pro multi-channel, and the default output is set to the Rodecaster Pro stereo. You can click OK. Next, you want to set the inputs for each individual track that you'll be recording to. If you hit default stereo input, go to mono, and here are your options. You can see that we have mic 1, 2, 3, and 4, USB, Bluetooth, etc. If you're in a 1 microphone recording booth, you can only choose microphone 1. If you're in a 2 microphone recording booth, you can choose 1 or 2, and you can actually have these on different tracks. The first track doesn't have to be mic 1, mic 1 can be on track 2, 3, 4, etc. If you're in a 4 mic recording booth, you can use all 4 microphone inputs. For this track, I'd like to have microphone 1, and for track 2, I'll put microphone 2. I'm in the 2 mic recording booth, so I can have 2 different speakers and their audio microphone inputs will be recorded to 2 tracks separately. Now that we've done that, let's name our tracks. Click once on the track name, and I'll call this Speaker 1. And the second one will be Speaker 2. This helps you keep track of all the recordings in your multi-track session. So to begin recording, I need to arm the tracks that I want to record on. So I'm going to hit this little R, and that's arm track number 1. And you can see that the audio meters are showing the reflection of the volume and the audio levels of the microphone. I'm going to adjust the sliders on the Rodecaster Pro. Check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, 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 1, 2, check, check. And you can see that right now I'm getting some yellow in the audio level meter, which is a good amount. You don't want it too low, and if you get higher than yellow, you'll get into the red, which will mean you will have some distortion in your recording. So when I'm happy with that, I'm going to do a test recording. Check, check, 1, 2, podcasting, check, recording, 1, 2. To play back the recording and hear it in the headphones, you need to adjust the USB slider on the Rodecaster Pro. When that's done, you can press play. Check, check, 1, 2, podcasting, check, recording, 1, 2. And now I'm going to set the recording on track 2 and turn off track 1 for the armed recording. For track 2, I'm going to speak into microphone 2, and I'll show you how you can record to different tracks. Check, check, 1, 2. My audio levels look good. Before I hit record, while recording, I'll be hearing back the playback on track 1. So I'm going to hit the mute button. and this will turn off this audio as I record. This is microphone 2, check, check, microphone 2. I'll test that playback. This is microphone 2, check, check, microphone 2. That's all good. I can unmute track 1 and you'll hear that they both play together. This is microphone 1, 2, podcasting, check. If I wanted to listen to one of these tracks and not the other ones, you can choose the mute button and you can mute multiple tracks, or you can actually solo a track. And any track that has a solo highlighted is the only one that's going to play, and the rest of the tracks will be muted. So you have mute, solo, and the record army button. To connect your phone to the Rodecaster Pro via Bluetooth, follow these steps. Press and hold the Bluetooth button until you get the pairing option on the screen. Click yes. Then the Rodecaster Pro is now discoverable via Bluetooth. In the Bluetooth settings of your phone, choose the Rodecaster Pro. When the pairing is finished, you can click Done. And the Rodecaster Pro is now paired to the phone. You need to adjust the Bluetooth slider on the Rodecaster Pro. And the final step is to set the input as the Bluetooth. For the track I'm going to be recording on track 1, we'll choose the input here and choose stereo, Bluetooth left. It says left, but it's actually recording left and right. It's 2 inputs here, so it will be a stereo recording. To export your project, decide whether or not you want to export the entire session or a segment of your session. For the entire session, this is ready to export. If you want to choose a segment, put your blue playhead where you'd like it to finish and press the O key for out point. Audition will now only export within this grey area. You can clear this by right-clicking here and hitting Clear Time Selection. So I'll press O again, and this is the segment that I want to have exported. Choose File, Export, Multitrack Mixdown, Time Selection or Entire Session. I'm going with Time Selection. Name your file, and I'll call this Podcast Recording 1. And now we need to choose the location. Navigate to the desktop and choose the folder we created earlier and click Save. When choosing your format, you can choose AIFF or WAV files. These are higher quality with more data, so they'll sound better, and they're better if you're going to be continuing editing these exported files. But if you're finished editing your project and file size is something you need to look out for, you can also export to MP3. I'll keep this as WAV. Also make sure your settings are at 48,000, 32-bit, and stereo. Click OK. And Audition should export your file, and it can be very quick depending on the size of your recording. Hide Audition by clicking Adobe Audition, Hide Audition, and on the folder on the desktop, open this up, and let's have a look in here and make sure we have our recording. And there it is, Podcast Recording 1.wav. I'm going to test this by pushing the spacebar, which is just a preview within the Mac. Check, check, 1, 2, podcasting, check, recording, 1, 2. Okay, that recorded, so anything you export, double check it before you close Audition to make sure that your export has done it correctly. Okay, so that sounds good. I recommend before closing down Audition in your recording session to play back your exports. Make sure everything is there before you close everything down. I'll go back to Audition, and I'm going to save this project. Now I can quit Audition. This folder here on the desktop has all of our working files in it. You can see our Audition file there, and the recorded folder has all of our original recordings. The computers in the recording booths get wiped of data regularly, so it's important to save this file to your own external hard drive, USB stick. This iMac only uses USB-C style ports, so keep that in mind if you're using an external drive or a USB stick. Or send it via Google Drive or another file sharing platform so that you have it backed up. And when backing up your file, make sure to back up this entire folder. Don't just back up one of the files inside. Audition needs all of those associated recording files to be able to be opened and edited later again. So make sure you copy this whole folder. When you're finished with your recording session, you can go up to the top left and hit the Apple icon and choose Log Out. If you're having trouble recording in Audition, one of the first things to do is double check your inputs. Go to Adobe Audition, Settings, and Audio Hardware. Make sure that the default input is set to Rodecaster Pro multi-channel, and default output is set to Rodecaster Pro Stereo. Next, you want to set the inputs for each individual track that you'll be recording to. If you hit default stereo input, go to mono, and here are your options. You can see that we have mic 1, 2, 3 and 4, USB, Bluetooth, etc. If you're in a 1 microphone recording booth, you can only choose microphone 1. If you're in a 2 microphone recording booth, you can choose 1 or 2, and you can actually have these on different tracks. The first track doesn't have to be mic 1, mic 1 can be on track 2, 3, 4, etc. If you're in a 4 mic recording booth, you can use all 4 microphone inputs. For this track, I'd like to have microphone 1, and for track 2, I'll put microphone 2. I'm in the 2 mic recording booth, so I can have 2 different speakers, and their audio microphone inputs will be recorded to 2 tracks separately. Now that we've done that, let's name our tracks. Click once on the track name, and I'll call this Speaker 1. And the second one will be Speaker 2. This helps you keep track of all the recordings in your multitrack session. The next thing to check is the Rodecaster Pro and all of the sliders, volume adjusters, and plugs. Double check that the sliders are correct for the microphone you're using. Check that the headphone volume wheels are correct for the headphone that you're using. If you're using one of the N booths, these are single microphone booths. This is what the back of the Rodecaster Pro in those booths should look like. Take the time to check that the plugs match this image for the back of the Rodecaster Pro. If you're in the middle booth, this is a 2 microphone, 2 headphone setup. This is what the back of that Rodecaster Pro should look like. If you're still having problems recording after troubleshooting, just send us an email at maps@uq.edu.au and we'll help you out.